Have you ever noticed how some older adults seem to draw people toward them, creating an atmosphere of warmth and respect wherever they go? It's not coincidence or luck. It's the result of specific habits they've cultivated throughout their lives. While many focus on what to avoid as we age, today we're exploring something more inspiring: the beautiful habits that make people genuinely admire and respect you in your golden years. These aren't just pleasant characteristics, they're powerful social magnets that deepen your connections with family, friends, and even strangers. The difference between someone whose company people seek versus someone they merely tolerate often comes down to these subtle, yet profound habits that speak volumes about your character and wisdom. By the end of this article, you'll discover practices that not only earn you deeper respect but also enrich your own experience of aging. The wonderful news? Each of these habits can be developed at any age. It's never too early or too late to start. So join me as we explore these 10 beautiful habits that will transform how others perceive you and, more importantly, how you experience this precious chapter of your life. 1. Practicing genuine curiosity. There's something instantly magnetic about an older person who asks thoughtful questions and then truly listens to the answers. When you meet someone new, instead of waiting for your turn to speak or immediately sharing your own experiences, you lean in slightly, make eye contact, and ask about their world with genuine interest. This isn't just polite conversation. It's a form of respect that says, "You matter. Your thoughts are valuable. I see you." In a world where everyone is rushing to be heard, someone who creates space for others stands out dramatically. What makes this habit so powerful is that it breaks stereotypes. Many expect older adults to be set in their ways or primarily interested in sharing their own wisdom. When you defy this expectation by showing authentic curiosity about new ideas, technologies, or perspectives, people don't just notice, they're drawn to you. The beauty of curiosity is that it keeps you mentally vibrant while simultaneously deepening your connections. Your grandchildren light up when you ask specific questions about their interests rather than general ones. Friends leave conversations with you feeling energized rather than drained. Family members share more openly because they know you're truly listening. And here's something remarkable. When you consistently show curiosity about others, they eventually become curious about you too. They'll start asking about your experiences and wisdom, not out of obligation, but genuine interest, creating a beautiful cycle of mutual respect and learning. 2. Embracing adaptability with grace. Life never stops changing, and one of the most respected qualities in older adults is the ability to adapt to new circumstances with grace rather than resistance. This doesn't mean abandoning your values or completely reinventing yourself. It means demonstrating flexibility when faced with changes in technology, culture, or personal circumstances. Consider the difference between someone who approaches a new smartphone with patient determination versus someone who immediately dismisses it as too complicated. The first person acknowledges the challenge but faces it with calm persistence. They might say, "This is different from what I'm used to, but I'm going to figure it out." This attitude earns immediate respect, especially from younger generations. Adaptability extends beyond technology to how you handle life's inevitable transitions, moving to a smaller home, adjusting to health changes, or embracing new family dynamics when children marry or grandchildren arrive. Those who can acknowledge what's difficult while focusing on possibilities rather than limitations create a sense of stability that others gravitate toward. What people rarely say out loud is how inspiring it is to witness someone in their 70s, 80s, or beyond who still approaches life as a learner rather than someone who has everything figured out. This openness signals emotional intelligence and inner strength that draws others closer rather than pushing them away. 3. Maintaining dignified independence. There's a beautiful balance that highly respected older adults maintain. They value their independence without turning it into stubbornness or pride. This means knowing when to do things yourself and when accepting help actually honors both you and the person offering assistance. Independence isn't about proving you can still do everything you once did. It's about continuing to make meaningful choices about your life while acknowledging changing circumstances. Perhaps you no longer drive at night, but have created alternative arrangements that allow you to maintain your social life. Maybe you've simplified your home to make it more manageable rather than struggling to maintain what no longer serves you. What others notice and deeply respect is your thoughtful approach to maintaining autonomy. When you accept help for tasks that have become genuinely difficult while still clearly directing your own life, you demonstrate wisdom rather than weakness. Your family feels both useful and respectful of your boundaries, a delicate balance that creates harmony rather than tension. This dignified independence sends a powerful message. I value myself enough to create a life that works for who I am today. That self-respect naturally generates respect from others who see not fragility, but strength in your adaptations. 4. Sharing wisdom without imposing it. Perhaps one of the most beautiful habits of respected older adults is their ability to share insights from their life experience without forcing these perspectives on others. They've mastered the art of gentle suggestion over forceful direction, often prefacing their thoughts with phrases like, "in my experience," or "something I've noticed is." This approach acknowledges an important truth. While your decades of living have given you valuable perspective, each person must ultimately find their own way. When you share wisdom as an offering rather than a correction, people are far more likely to actually consider and incorporate your advice. What makes this habit so powerful is its respect for others' autonomy and intelligence. Instead of assuming the role of all-knowing elder, you position yourself as a supportive resource, someone who has traveled further down life's road but recognizes that each journey is unique. The most respected older adults know when to offer guidance and when to simply listen. They understand that sometimes sharing a similar experience from their past helps others feel less alone, while other times, simply witnessing someone struggle without trying to fix it is the greater gift. This balanced approach to sharing wisdom doesn't diminish your influence, it actually expands it. When people don't feel judged or directed, they're more likely to seek your perspective again and again, creating deeper bonds of trust and respect. 5. Cultivating elegant self-care. There's something quietly commanding about an older person who maintains thoughtful self-care routines. This isn't about expensive products or trying to look decades younger. It's about the dignity that comes from tending to yourself with respect and attention. Simple habits make a profound difference. Clean, well-kept clothing appropriate for the occasion. Hair that's neatly styled. Good personal hygiene. And posture that conveys self-respect. These practices aren't vanity, they're visible representations of how you value yourself and, by extension, others. What people respond to isn't perfection but effort, the clear message that you believe social engagements and interactions are worth preparing for. This careful attention extends to your living environment as well. A home that's comfortable and welcoming, even if modest, reflects your ongoing engagement with quality of life. Many younger people silently notice and admire these habits, seeing in them not just aesthetics but character, discipline, self-respect, and consideration for others. In a culture that often dismisses older adults, your elegant self-care becomes a gentle but powerful statement that you continue to participate fully in life. This doesn't require significant financial resources. Even with limited means, the care and intention you bring to your appearance and environment communicates volumes about your inner dignity and continues to command genuine respect. 6. Practicing the art of cheerful resilience. Life inevitably brings challenges at any age, but particularly in later years when health concerns, losses, and life transitions intensify. What distinguishes highly respected older adults is not an absence of difficulties, but their response to them, what we might call cheerful resilience. This isn't about toxic positivity or denying real challenges. Rather, it's about facing difficulties with a grounded perspective that doesn't allow problems to consume your entire identity or conversation. When you encounter health setbacks or other challenges, you acknowledge them honestly, but don't allow them to become the centerpiece of every interaction. You can discuss a difficult diagnosis when relevant, but then genuinely ask about others' lives. You share struggles, but balance them with moments of gratitude or humor, showing that you haven't surrendered your joy to circumstances. What makes this resilience so deeply respected is its authenticity. People can sense the difference between forced cheerfulness and genuine perspective, the kind that comes from having weathered enough storms to know that dark moments aren't the whole story. This balanced outlook isn't just pleasant for others. It's a testament to inner strength that inspires everyone around you. Family members, friends, and even healthcare providers respond differently to someone who maintains their sense of humor and perspective during challenges. They're more engaged, more present, and more invested in supporting you because your resilience makes helping you feel like participation rather than obligation. 7. Maintaining meaningful engagement. There's an unmistakable vitality that surrounds older adults who remain genuinely engaged with life, not simply filling time, but pursuing interests, relationships, and activities with authentic purpose. This engagement looks different for everyone. Volunteering at the local library, taking classes, participating in a faith community, mentoring younger people, or pursuing artistic endeavors. What matters isn't the specific activity, but the continued participation in something beyond yourself. This engagement communicates that you still see yourself as having value to offer, that you haven't withdrawn from meaningful contribution. When others see you investing in causes, developing skills, or nurturing relationships, it naturally generates respect. This habit breaks powerful stereotypes about aging being primarily about decline and withdrawal. Instead, it demonstrates that later life can be a time of continued growth, service, and connection. Younger people especially take notice when someone decades older than themselves approaches life with enthusiasm rather than resignation. Meaningful engagement creates natural points of connection with others. Instead of conversations focused only on the past, you can discuss current projects, recent experiences, and future plans. This ongoing involvement gives you fresh perspectives and stories that make interactions with you dynamic rather than predictable. 8. Demonstrating impeccable manners. In an increasingly casual society, there's something undeniably compelling about an older person who maintains thoughtful, consistent courtesy. This isn't about rigid formality, but rather showing genuine consideration through reliable social graces, remembering names, offering sincere thanks, acknowledging others' kindnesses, and respecting boundaries. These small courtesies have outsized impact because they've become increasingly rare. When you write a handwritten thank you note, remember someone's food preferences, or simply listen without interrupting, people notice and feel valued. Your consistent politeness stands out as a form of respect that invites respect in return. What makes this habit particularly powerful is that it crosses generational lines. While cultural norms around formality have changed, the appreciation for being treated with genuine courtesy remains universal. Your grandchildren's friends may not expect an elder to remember their names or ask thoughtful questions about their interests, which is precisely why it makes such an impression when you do. These impeccable manners aren't just outward behaviors, but reflections of a fundamental orientation toward others, an assumption that everyone deserves acknowledgement and consideration. That underlying respect creates an atmosphere around you that people instinctively want to honor in return. 9. Cultivating financial dignity. One of the least discussed but most respected habits of admired older adults is their thoughtful relationship with money. This isn't about wealth, it's about managing whatever resources you have with care, foresight, and appropriate generosity. Financial dignity shows up in various ways, living within your means rather than creating burden through unsustainable spending, planning thoughtfully for healthcare and living arrangements rather than leaving these decisions entirely to others, being generous where possible without compromising your security, and avoiding making money a source of family tension. What earns deep respect is your balanced approach, neither obsessing over every penny nor spending carelessly without thought for future needs. This middle path demonstrates wisdom that others notice and appreciate, especially family members who might otherwise worry about your well-being or future care. There's also tremendous dignity in how respected elders discuss financial matters, neither complaining constantly about costs nor making money the center of every decision. This balanced perspective shows emotional maturity that stands in contrast to both excessive frugality and careless spending that sometimes characterize less thoughtful approaches to aging. 10. Extending intergenerational friendship. Perhaps the most beautiful habit of highly respected older adults is their willingness to form genuine friendships across generational lines. Rather than limiting social connections to age peers, they cultivate authentic relationships with people decades younger, creating bridges of understanding that benefit everyone involved. This doesn't mean trying to act younger than you are or abandoning friendships with contemporaries. Instead, it means bringing your authentic self with all your experience, perspective, and values into meaningful exchange with people of different ages and life stages. You might mentor a young professional, develop a friendship with new neighbors in their 30s, or actively engage with your adult children's friends. What makes these cross-generational connections so powerful is their mutual benefit. Younger people gain perspective, wisdom, and historical context that enriches their understanding, while you receive fresh viewpoints, energy, and connection to evolving culture. These relationships keep you mentally flexible and deeply engaged with a changing world. There's something particularly beautiful about an older person who can connect authentically with children, teenagers, young adults, and middle-aged people, adapting their communication style without changing who they fundamentally are. This ability to bridge worlds demonstrates an emotional intelligence and genuine interest in humanity that naturally commands respect. Final thoughts. As we've explored these 10 beautiful habits, perhaps you've recognized some you already practice or others you'd like to develop. The wonderful thing about these qualities is that they're available to all of us. They don't require special talents, advanced education, or significant financial resources. They simply require intention, practice, and a genuine belief in their value. The respect these habits generate isn't about superficial politeness, but deep, genuine admiration. When you embody these qualities, people don't just tolerate your presence, they seek it out. Family gatherings become occasions everyone looks forward to rather than obligations. Younger people find reasons to visit, call, or include you because your company enriches their lives. Remember that developing these habits isn't about perfection but progress. Each small step toward curiosity, resilience, engagement, or any of these qualities incrementally shifts how others experience you and how you experience this chapter of life. The journey toward becoming someone deeply respected and valued in older age begins with simple, daily choices that accumulate over time into a beautiful way of being. If you found value in these insights, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support allows us to continue creating content that celebrates the wisdom and potential of life's later chapters. Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear which of these habits resonated most with you or others you've observed in the elders you admire.